I think next week might be the battle for the SEC West Championship. Talked about the East Championship earlier, but let's talk a little bit about what the Texas A&M Aggies are doing right now. All right? Almost perfect balance offensively from A&M this past weekend. 204 on the ground, 210 through the air. It was their second straight 200-yard running game. They're starting to get things going a little bit. Offensively, I really like what they're doing. I do. I really, really like. I think Max Johnson looks really comfortable. He obviously was efficient through the air, but he also did a pretty good job using his legs as well. I think he needs to learn how to slide every once in a while. But either way, obviously had the 32-yard run. Max Johnson's playing good football, really good football. Being thrust into a spot as a backup quarterback, now that Connor Wigman's lost for the season, you got to be pretty impressed with what you've seen from Max Johnson here in the finishing moments of the Auburn game and the 4 quarters that he played against the Arkansas Razorbacks. The other takeaway, I think, for A&M, Le'Veon Moss is incredible. I mean, incredible. Now, the numbers aren't going to necessarily jump off the page. He had 17 carries for 107 yards. But you just look at how balanced he is, how he makes the first defender miss. The first guy almost never brings him down. And when you are trying to defend the pass, and you have to against A&M's weapons, you have to be respectful of what they can do through the air. This guy gets going, man, and it is a totally different animal. Le'Veon Moss is going to be a superstar in college football, and he's probably going to get there sooner than you realize. Then defensively, this is where I'm really loving what I've seen from time to time from A&M. 15 tackles for loss last week against Arkansas. 15. That is an insane number. How about the fact that they have consecutive games in which they had 7 sacks? 14 overall, okay? That's the most in consecutive games since they joined the SEC. This defensive line is completely wrecking havoc. And even the guys that are big run stoppers, you would think, the 300-plus pounders, they're being disruptive. You put them on the edge, and these guys are getting home. I mean, it's unbelievable just how good this defensive line is playing right now. And Shamar Turner, they're on the edge. I'm not sure I've seen a guy this year that can completely take over the game. I mean, I'm talking completely take over the game. So I am so thrilled with what I've seen from that group. This is why a couple years ago we talked about, man, that defensive line recruiting class for A&M, that thing's going to pay dividends. Well, it's starting to materialize. This group is playing excellent football, and it'll be a tremendous test next week against Alabama. But, man, that is going to be a war in the trenches when Alabama's offensive line is on the field, which has been a little shaky, and Texas A&M's defensive line is on the field because they have been dominant up to this point of the season.